Watching Return of the Jedi, there were many questions that we had that we never got answers for. One of those questions we had while leaving the theater was, did that blue piano guy have legs? Well, we wouldn't be sure of that until Kenner released the Cy Snoodles and Max Rebo Band action figure set. Finally, the mystery of what Max Rebo looked like away from his piano was solved. So we thought. It seemed either Kenner was not sure what Max looked like away from his keys, so they just made what they felt he looked like, and since then, in countless Star Wars source material, Max Rebo had legs and arms. But was he always meant to have legs? Looking at the puppet used in the film, without his keyboard, we start to see a different Max. Rather than standing in the middle of the piano, tickling the ivories with the help of his arms, we can see that Max sat on top of the piano and used what seemed more like legs to play the keys. In this blueprint of how the puppet would work, you can see again that these are more like legs and not arms. You can also notice on this blueprint that Max Rebo was going by the name Red Ball Jet. Not a bad sounding name, Cy Snoodles and the Red Ball Jet Band. I like it, sounds like a smooth jazz band from the Upper East Side. These sketches do make it look as if Max Rebo is playing with legs and doesn't have any arms. However, once you place the puppeteer into the puppet, those legs seem to come off more like arms. These concept pieces by Return of the Jedi designer Norman Reynolds again shows Max doesn't have arms. Looking at this side view of Max, we can see that his body doesn't disappear into the piano as Kenner and many others thought. He is sitting on the piano. You can clearly see that he doesn't have four limbs. Call them legs or arms, but he doesn't have both like the Kenner action figure and many source materials have shown him throughout the years.
That's impossible, even for a computer.
But it's not impossible. I used to bullseye womp rats in my T-16 back home. They're not much bigger than T-meters.
During the Rebel briefing scene before going up against the Death Star, we see a young pilot who has befriended Luke Skywalker. For many years, fans thought this was some lone pilot for the Rebels. However, according to the novel and the script, the pilot claimed to Luke Skywalker is his new X-Wing buddy, Wedge Antilles, who goes on to appear in at least 4 Star Wars films and saves the Rebels' asses a handful of times. But this Wedge looks different from the Wedge we are told that is Wedge a few moments later during the Death Star battle and in the sequels. Even if they do sound the same, who was this mysterious pilot? Many fans believe the pilot next to Luke in the briefing room is in fact Red 4, who we see killed during the Death Star battle. John D for you nerds out there. This pilot was played by Jack Cliff. May be hard to tell due to the quick scene, but this is not the guy listed as Wedge sitting next to Luke Skywalker. Looking at the call sheet for the actors needed for the briefing scene, there's one actor that only appears to be needed for this one scene, Colin Higgins. Who is Colin Higgins? Just a British actor who around the same time appeared in an episode of the great British television series Blake 7. As you can see from this photo, Colin Higgins on Blake 7 is in fact the other Wedge. For years, who this actor was unknown, as his name didn't appear in the credits. But over the last few years, he has become more well known for his role as the fake Wedge that he has appeared at conventions to tell fans about the day he played the other Wedge, or the first Wedge. It wasn't until the late 90s or early 2000s that I ever heard the term Slave Leia when it came to Princess Leia in her gold bikini. As a kid, we often just called it the gold bikini outfit or Jabba's prisoner outfit. So this got me to wonder, what was it officially called during the filming of Return of the Jedi? Well, I found the answer to that thanks to the costume call sheet for the film. As you can see here, it's not called a slave outfit, or a prisoner outfit, or even a gold bikini. It was called Dancing Girl, or Dancing Girl with Cape. For years I saw this photo of a scruffy-looking rebel commando from Return of the Jedi. He was even in the photo source books as being an indoor soldier. Having seen Return of the Jedi at least 1,138 times, I've never seen this rebel commando during the Battle of Endor, or even in the briefing scene before the battle, or in the ship hangar. I've seen the Clone Wars Rex. I even seen Pruneface, but I never could find this guy. When I asked my Star Wars friends, no one could place him either. We all just figured it was some extra off-screen or too far in the background to be seen. No mystery to solve. Before we close the book on this Rebel Commando, let's take a closer look at him and the other rebels on Endor. It's hard to tell in these source photos, but he seems not to be wearing the standard uniform the other rebels are. This one under his camouflage jacket seems more like robes. Could he be a hidden Jedi? Sadly, those are not Jedi robes either. The thing that really stands out to me is his helmet. It's not a Rebel-issued Endor battle helmet for sure. No one in the battle is seen wearing any helmet like this. So who was this guy? If not a rebel or a secret Jedi helping the rebels, could he have been a spy for the Empire? It seems that mystery would never be solved. And that was until some fans noticed something special in the background on the CBS Star Wars Making of Special, Classic Creatures. Although this special first aired on CBS back in 1983, it wasn't until it appeared on the Star Wars Blu-ray disc set that fans started to see something that had always been there. In one of these scenes, we see Return of the Jedi director Richard Marquand directing a scene inside Jabba's throne room. If you freeze the frame and look behind the director, you'll see the scruffy-looking Rebel Commando, or who we all assume was a Rebel Commando. As us fans looked for the Commando during the Battle of Endor, we didn't check Jabba's palace. Sadly, checking it didn't help much either, as there doesn't seem to be a clear shot of the guy in Jabba's home, except for this one scene that might show the Rebel Commando in the background. But it's hard to make out for sure. In 2013, Star Wars' Pablo Hidalgo did a little digging himself in the photo archives at Skywalker Ranch and found 2 photos of this commando in Jabba's palace. Finally, without a doubt, the one who we all believe was the Endor hero for the rebellion was in fact a henchman for Jabba the Hutt. And that's a look at some Star Wars mysteries solved. If you like this video, please let me know in the comments below so I can do more of this series, and maybe you have some mysteries you'd like me to check into. And until the next video, please thumb up this one so I know you like my content. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll talk again soon.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.